If I told you they were going to make or redo the movie 1984, wouldn't you agree this would be the perfect set for that movie? Welcome to the Empire State Plaza, created by Governor Rockefeller in the 1960s, where he raised a neighborhood, I think it was 26 acres, of a perfectly intact 19th century neighborhood to put this monstrosity in. An example of fascist architecture, and I'm not even joking with that word, it really is. It shows the supremacy of the state. Even the Capitol building there to the right, which is actually quite a nice Capitol building, was produced at about 10 times the cost. There was so much graft in making that building. It was really notable. And even the plaza, this plaza itself, many years later, with the marble, ran over in cost many times over. There's probably many a stonemason somewhere in the Northeast that has a beautiful white marble bathroom. Compliments of the people of the state of New York. So why am I here today? Here in the belly of the beast, in the once great state of New York, which is now referred to as the People's Republic of New York. Gun bans, high taxes, proposals for green IDs for the bug. It's a disaster. It is an absolute positive disaster. So why, you may ask, am I here today? Well, I am here to announce something that I'm going to be doing, and I thought, what better place to do it than right here in the belly of the beast. I'm taking the fight to the enemy. In these days of technological totalitarianism, where people are thrown off social media, myself included, and everything is surveilled, I'm going to come and see if I can meet up with people who are interested in striking out in a new way. And what I decided to do was to really kind of take a walking tour, kind of a hike, that has a couple different purposes. The first one is I'm actually going to walk the path of General Knox. You may know that from 1775 to 1783, the American Revolution raged on. And in the early stages, Boston was under siege by the British. Looking back, maybe that wasn't such a bad idea, but there was a book publisher by the name of Henry Knox who, with the blessing of George Washington, agreed to go to Fort Ticonderoga in way upstate New York, what is now upstate New York, and gather cannons from Fort Ticonderoga and bring them all the way down through New York, then across the Berkshires in Massachusetts, and then over to Cambridge. And they were successfully brought through over the course of a couple of months and through some really rough territory, and it helped the war effort. It went through areas that are now famous as turning points of the Revolutionary War. In any case, I decided that I wanted to recreate part of that. So I'm going to walk 105 miles from Fort Ticonderoga all the way down to the Capital District here in Albany. This is sort of like a more than midway point. And then I'm going to continue here from Albany over to the Massachusetts border. I'm going to do this in July, and I'm going to carry a Gadsden flag. Don't tread on me, just so, a couple purposes. One, it's visible, and number two, hopefully it'll spark some conversation. I want to see if I can meet up with my people. I want to see if I can meet up with my people in a non-technological way. Now, along the way, there are these sort of markers that talk about the noble train of Knox, and I want to hit each marker in New York State. So that's sort of the stated purpose, to walk Knox's trail and to get an appreciation for the walk. Obviously, I'm not doing it in the winter like he did in January and December, but I am going to do it. It's going to be hot when I do it in July. It's very developed now. It's not the wilderness that it once was. But I'm hoping that by walking through those areas, I will see, like I said, gain an appreciation. Some portion of that trip he did by boat on Lake George. I'm going to walk it. I scouted it out yesterday. It's kind of high and around some mountains, but it's a good hike for me. And then what I am hoping to do over the course of that journey is really kind of network with people who the right people will come over. I'm increasingly convinced that the vast majority of the normies out there will not, and I don't cannot be converted to any kind of rational thinking. Here in this state, they just did 70%. 70% of the population took the jab, and they celebrated with fireworks, and it's a big deal. And you still have people walking around here with diapers on their face. I'm increasingly of the mindset that this whole thing is going to collapse. The federal government is bloated. It's going to de facto collapse, and states are going to reassert their sovereignty. I think that's the good news of all of this. There's a lot of trouble. There's a lot of problems. I got a guy here filming a video walking across. Bringing some attention to some neglected monuments, I think, will be interesting. Carrying a Gadsden flag, 100 plus miles, and talking with cool people, I think will be interesting. It'll be interesting to see if there's any hostility that's drawn from that act. I'm going to use that platform to talk to people about secession. At a minimum, I'm going to talk to them about nullification, whether it's jury nullification or states nullifying federal laws. I don't think that I have a hard time imagining that secession would happen by any kind of legislative process. I don't think it'll happen by a kinetic war, because I think most people in this country are sheep. But what I think will happen is the federal system will collapse under its own weight, and regions, states, whether they're current states as written today or just regions, cultural regions, will form up. And that's kind of the good news of all this. We don't know how the jab is going to work out for people that took it. We don't know how all that genetic modification is going to affect them. There could be, lots of people dead this time 5 years from now. We don't know. But we do know that it's going to end. And places like this are going to be no more. I mean, other than a movie set for the book 1984, this is not going to be sustainable. Even though you have governors, despotic, tyrannical governors like Andrew Cuomo here, and a legislature in that house completely sold out to leftist democratic ideology. Not that the Republicans are any better. There's absolutely no opposition. There's nothing. Nothing at all. So, this is the announcement, the official announcement. In July, I'm taking off. I'm thinking it's going to take 7 to 10 days to do the entire New York State leg. And we'll see. I'm going to keep you posted. I'm going to post here. And we're going to see what kind of response it elicits. Not only from the small remnant of actual, intelligent human beings that recognize we live in a world of insanity, but also let's see what kind of response we get from the normies. It should be fun. In any case, I look forward to having you with me. I really hope that you'll comment and give me your thoughts on my idea. If you have any contacts in New York State along the route from Fort Ticonderoga through Glens Falls, through Mechanicville, Cohoes, Latham, Albany, Columbia County, near Hudson, not in Hudson, but near Hudson, and then over to Massachusetts, that would be helpful. I want to publicize it. I anticipate that I'll be walking most of it myself alone, but maybe some people want to join me. As I get closer to the dates, I'll post them. And if any of you listening here want to join, you're more than welcome to do it. And I hope that you all stay free.